Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Tom Nato. I'm co-host of the Net.lol podcasts, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Brent and Kyle and Dave Tucker. This is our Christmas holiday wrap-up special today, so we're glad you're listening. We'll keep the kind of intro short as we got some messages later from previous listeners and guests. But I just wanted to go through with the host today and just kind of talk about, what we're thankful for in open source networking for the year, and maybe tell us about what your favorite guests were this year, or some highlights. Mine were the two that come to mind immediately were the first one we had with Anthony, where we talked about the kind of evolving nature of how data centers are built today, and the possibilities there and the realities. That was super cool. The other one was the MLB one we did with Truman and Jeremy. And that was particularly apropos for me because I watched the World Series not long after we talked to those guys, and I'm thankful they kept that infrastructure running so we could watch the games. Kyle, what are yours?
Yeah, we really did have a lot of really great ones. So a couple that stick out in my mind were the episode we did with Circle Bay Reactor around all the work that she's done, not only in open source, but in, being a woman in technology and a leader, and how she's done a lot of amazing things at Cisco in terms of the program she's run there for that, and really being inclusive. And it was great to hear that. And then I thought when we had recently we had Vinny on, and I thought that was really interesting, his talk about Quick and DTLS and some of those future-looking protocols and kind of the way things are evolving. So I thought those were some really good episodes.
We're gonna have Vinny on again too.
Yeah, I think Vinny's coming on again to talk about
some
sneak
Log4j.
peek Log4j, exactly. I thought that was good. So Brent, what about you? What episodes did stand out for you from the last year?
Yeah, so I always enjoy kind of the systems DevOps talks from John Willis. It's always fun to hear. I always learn a lot, and I think we kind of track after we're tracking after DevOps, so makes sense. And then of course Chris Wright. I think he's probably been a mentor to all of us. So hard not to love every second you get with that guy. What about you, Dave?
Props.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I get to go last, so I get last pick. However, nobody's picked my favorite two, so that's always good. So probably the big ones for me were Thomas Graf and eBPF, because that had a massive. That was a big moment for me. Like, a lot of stuff clicked into the place after that conversation, and that's definitely had that led me to change trajectory this year. So that was a really good one. I think the other one has to be like Dave and Dino, because Dave Meyer was, oh man, like working with Dave was great, and that was like a highlight for me in the Open Daylight days. So yeah, they were good
And
times.
even before that, I got to work with Dino. He's a mastermind.
Yeah, I always feel like I learn something every time. Like every conversation with Dave, and then suddenly like you're into biology. It's like how. How do we get into here? We were doing networking 2 minutes ago.
Cool. No, we had a lot of fun this year. That was fantastic. And with that in mind, please keep listening to us. We'll be starting back up in January, but between now and then, we've got I mentioned at the beginning, we've got some messages from our previous listeners and our previous guests and some listeners actually responded with some nice comments too. So take some time and give it a listen. Some are pretty funny too. And we'll see you all in 2022. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Stay safe out there.
Merry Christmas!
You know, there are many open source projects that I'm thankful for, but if I were to pick one, that would have to be OVN. This has been my bread and butter for I don't know how many years now. All thankful to my first job with Kyle at IBM and many other folks to follow. So thanks OVN for all you do. I always try to pay back in some ways, but it's a great project and it's been a lot of fun.
I wanted to give special thanks this season to the open source community for quality vulnerabilities like Log4j. It will keep me employed for many years to come. And speaking of quality things in the open source community, Java. Yes, it's a legacy technology, but don't worry, we'll have that around for years with all of its security. To this day, the most secure programming language is still assembly because you can do whatever you want. Enjoy the holiday season, everyone. Stay safe.
Hi, I just want to take a minute to say what I'm thankful for open source software development. And for me, that's the people. The people are amazing. I mean, they come from different backgrounds, different experiences. They all have different ideas, and you all work on the same project. You come together and you produce a body of work that's pretty impressive. And really, it's the people that you meet, the way they, you share experiences, you share your perspectives, and collaborate to work on these open source projects. They're the things that make these projects so impressive. And so really, I'm grateful for all the people I've met. Some amazing, cool, nice, smart, brilliant, funny. It's been a wonderful experience all around. So that's what I'm grateful for. Thanks.
I would like to thank the OpenStack project, in particular Neutron, which is the networking sub-project. From a technical point of view, I love the fact that it helped drive innovation and adoption of many other surrounding technologies across the networking stack. And I also think that it really helped drive the industry forward. I remember discussion among competitors trying to agree on API definition, which was very refreshing to see in the networking space. And most importantly, I got the opportunity to meet awesome friends and colleagues thanks to OpenStack, with many of which I'm still working on today. So thank you, OpenStack.
Hi, I definitely want to be thankful for open source, because due to the open source, I was able to get more innovative ideas, connecting with people that think the same as me and thinking the other way, and definitely learn from them a lot. New technologies, and I think that it's also it's helped me to be a better engineer, of thinking of those out of the box solutions and different approach. And I definitely think that the open source is the place to be innovative, to think out of the box, and to work together side by side with engineers who are really appreciate new ways to solve things that are related to the day-to-day work or any kind of additional topic. So I definitely thank you for the open source, and this is what got me to the place that I'm working today, in a company that's involved in the open source. So that's really what I'm so thankful for. Cheers, bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Hank Yeomans at Cisco Systems. The open source project I'm most thankful for this year is Envoy Proxy, with our goal of providing extremely easy application access for customers. I believe that Envoy will be a welcome addition to our future proxy fleets. With Envoy's robust load balancing, enforcement flows, as well as observability, I can see it becoming a core requirement for ZTNA type services. Because proxy service is generally the point of enforcement for application access, scale is more important than ever. Envoy's features make it an easy choice for us to allow us to experiment with service chaining via policy and enable features that our customer is looking for. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Hi, my name is Neil Jacques. I'm co-founder at Stardust Systems, and I'm formerly the executive director of the Open Daylight project. I'm really happy to be contributing to this effort. You know, I love the open source networking community. What I really like about the community, it's a group of people who's always willing to help, who's excited about new technologies, and it's also a global community. It's a set of people that I have connected with all over the world, and it feels a little bit like a global village. It's small enough that you see the same people over and over again, but it's large enough that there's such a broad set of experiences and wisdom within that community. I look forward to another year of open source software eating the world, and Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Hey Tom, hey Kyle. For your podcast audience, my name is Anil Bishnoi. I work with Red Hat in Office of the CTO, mainly looking at the networking stack of various Red Hat products. I'm not really groomed for the video here, but I don't really want to miss the opportunity to say thanks to the open source projects. So here I am. This is indeed a very interesting question, and I contributed to multiple open source projects, and one of the projects that I am really thankful to is a project called Open Daylight that was managed by Linux Foundation. This project gave me opportunities to play various roles within this ecosystem. I played the role of key contributor, project maintainer, tech lead of the projects. I was part of the TSE for a long time, and it also gave me opportunity to be, part of the board as a community representative. And all of these roles gave me a platform to, learn a breadth and depth of the networking space, technically and non-technically. And I learned, the journey of project to a revenue-making product to this particular open source project. On a personal front, I met a lot of smart networking experts and leaders like you and Kyle, and I cherish a lot of memories from the summits of Open Daylight and OpenStack Summit, back in the days. So it was really a great journey that I'll remember, that will be always in my memories. With that, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and see you next year.
Hi there. Today, I am more than happy to say how thankful I am in terms of open source networking, technologies, and communities. When I started coding in the late 90s, that was not as popular it is today. And then Linux arrived, and that was truly a revolution. People may remember about funny things like Linux 2.0, 2.2, IP chains, NetFilter, and so on and so forth. I learned so much reading this code, doing some Linux kernel modules, and so on and so forth. Today, it's everywhere. In your car, in your planes, in rockets, in the clouds. That is really fantastic. We are now facing a bunch of new problems in this industry, like ossifications. And the good news is there are solutions that are emerging now, including XDP, eBPF, VPP, and others. So let's have bright discussions in 2022 about all that. That will be a fantastic year. Happy New Year!
Hi Tom, it's Azhar Saeed from Red Hat. Saw your tweet on the holiday podcast episode. Thank you for the invitation. First of all, let me wish all your listeners Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. An open source project I'm thankful for? Well, that's a tough one. Given the number of projects we touch as part of Red Hat, but if I were to choose one I'm really thankful for, that will be Kubernetes overall. And if you ask me in networking specifically, which one would you like or which one would you be thankful for, then that would be the Malta CNI. Kubernetes has revolutionized the way applications are deployed in the cloud and how they're interconnected together. It has made it easy for professionals to deploy and manage infrastructure and applications using single constructs and provide a very unified approach to the overall deployment and management. Multus CNI allowed Kubernetes to be extended to deploy network functions with multiple network interfaces, leading to the deployment of cloud-native network functions or container network functions, and now giving rise to the possibility of moving your entire network components that are in software to the cloud, such as LTE, 5G core, routers, firewalls, gateways, load balancers, and now even the RAN components, such as the RAN DU, RAN CU, to the cloud platform. Without Multus, it would have been very hard to implement these software components or these network functions. And if not for Multus, we would have had a CNI from every vendor with very little consistency across all of them. So I see it as really a key project that was a catalyst in the movement of network functions from bare metal environment or from the existing environments, hardware based, to containers and Kubernetes. Personally, there are many open source projects that I'm really thankful for, because I get to use those software for free, and I use them, so many of them, on my desktop today. However, if you're looking at networking and in the future, I think there are a few projects that have a lot of promise, particularly in the area of applications networking, such as Scupper, Submariner, and Cupid. Watch out for those. And again, thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hi, my name is Sean Collins, and this holiday season I'm thankful for Container Lab, which allows you to build virtual networks in Docker for testing and continuous integration, as well as the Ansible collections for Arista EOS and Netbox. Happy holidays.
Hey Kyle, how's it going? This is Kevin Benton here. You asked me to do a video about open source networking projects that I'm thankful for. I use a lot of them all the time: Linux, kernel networking, IP tables. But I think the one I want to call out specifically for this video is the Python net adder module. I use it almost every day. Nobody ever talks about it, but it's super handy, super easy to use to do subnetting and IP addressing and all the things that come up all the time when you're operating any kind of production network, test network, that kind of thing. Yeah. So Python net adder, check it out. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, this is Nick Baraglio from forwardingplane.net and the Modem Show podcast. I just wanted to talk about what I'm thankful for throughout 2021. I think from the open source world perspective, I think what I'm most appreciative of is the suite of tools available for network modeling and automation, things like Netbox and Batfish and Container Lab, things that really make modeling networks and experimenting and automating and orchestrating things significantly easier for the operators and the automation engineers out there. Secondarily, I think what I am most appreciative of and thankful for is the fact that I have the ability to work remotely. A lot of people don't have that luxury, and it really is exactly that, a luxury, and I'm very appreciative of it. So here's hoping 2022 is a great year, and thanks.
Hi there. My name is Vishwanath Jayaraman, and I go by Vish. I began my professional journey 20 years back in Austin, Texas, which has remained my hometown during those 20 years. And my professional journey took a very exciting turn in 2014 when I joined Brocade, that introduced me to the world of open source projects, Open Daylight and OpenStack, for which I am ever thankful and grateful. And very early on, I got involved in the OpenStack community, working on Packer, Neutron, and Horizon projects, which lasted for 3.5 years. And the experience was out of the world and felt unreal. I was blown away by the collaboration across the different projects among developers from different companies, some of whom were competitors. I also had the opportunity to attend ODL conferences and also try to collaborate for integration between ODL and OpenStack. I also got an opportunity to work on Apache Foundation projects like Project ARIA, an implementation of Tosca Parser. And most recently, as an employee at Red Hat, I have had the opportunity to work on OVN Kubernetes project, which is also an open source project. Lastly, I would like to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season, and if ever you get an opportunity to work in open source projects, don't miss that opportunity. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Scott Fulton, formerly of the New Stack, Data Center Knowledge, and ZDNet, and presently with AmericanEagle.com. This year, for the second straight year, and you may have noticed this, there seemed to be a blanket of immunity surrounding the internet. Sure, we had outages at major cloud services providers such as Amazon and Facebook, and folks were without Netflix for about 45 minutes. But let's take stock of this undeniable fact. The pandemic may have disrupted the world's supply chains, but it strengthened the internet. The world's data centers put their resilience plans into action, and with extremely few exceptions, they worked. Even those major cloud outages that were the only events the TV news covered that are related to infrastructure were far from catastrophic. Among the reasons for that resilience were the efforts of the open source software community. They stepped up to the plate and batted out of the park. They shared solutions, reinforced operating systems, and made further improvements to microservices platforms. Now, if open source would take the same approach to 20, 30, 90-year-old security bugs as they've taken to critical infrastructure, they'd revolutionize our networks. The world's data centers would be pandemic-proof. Today, I'm especially thankful for our frontline warriors in this nation's home front war. Our healthcare workers, nurses, caregivers, physicians, immunologists, and scientists. Many of them have sacrificed more than their time. We have a new class of wounded warriors among us, and they have made deep sacrifices of themselves, including their own lives, that we may live, and that we may hopefully become smarter people as well as safer people. These selfless individuals deserve our thanks, our love, our honor, and our prayers in this most desperate holiday season of their lives.
Hello everybody, my name is Armando Migliaccio, and as 2021 draws to a close, and I'm thinking about open source projects to be thankful for, I am personally thankful for GoBGP, Bird, Open vSwitch, and FRR. We couldn't work without this project here at DigitalOcean, and I'm extremely thankful for that. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy Hollandays, everybody. This is Michael with T1 Nexus. Very pleased to be a sponsor of this great podcast. So many things to be grateful for this season. Obviously, our health and our loved ones, and making sure that everyone's okay and getting to spend time together with everybody. A lot of extra time we've been getting to spend with everybody, especially. But very grateful for the open networking that we're all part of. Open aggregation is a term that we love to use, but it applies to so many things, obviously best practices, but very grateful for the guidance and kind of the community that we have around this as we try and roll out new technologies, emerging technologies that are really truly open source. And it's not just a saying, you know, proprietary is out the window, I guess you could say. So we're grateful for all that, but especially my family, and just hoping everyone's having a very fantastic holiday and getting to really enjoy their families and their home time.
Merry Christmas!